The McIntyre Ag Alliance produced this farm tour series together with Southern Queensland Landscapes. A massive thanks to Todd Cranny and his family for showing us around his operation.
So Todd Cranny, I come from Bonyi, which is 35k northeast of Gundawindi. It's probably 80% Brigalow Belah Melonhole country. It's been improved for the last 30 years, and yeah, we do time-controlled grazing on there and fattening. We run a Wagyu operation, and yeah, we send most of our weaners down to our other little block down at North Star, but keep the replacement heifers here. We bought this property next door, which is about 1,000 acres, in December last year, and it was there's about 200 acres of cropping, and it was totally flogged out with no organic matter at all, and the little rain we did get just washed straight into the dams. So we decided to put in a multi-species cover crop, which had 2 types of millet, 2 types of sorghum, tillage radish, forage brassica, and vetch. And that was planted in February, and yeah, it's made. We've got 1 graze off it, and it's definitely had the desired effect of putting carbon back in the soil and have like a living plant in the soil with plenty of organic matter there now. Well, we put 120 mixed stock on there, which is mainly young cattle, and but we'd let the plant grow up to its full potential before we grazed it, just so we could try to break up the soil with the roots and everything. But yeah, so we grazed it late, which was end of April to May, and when the plant started to be dormant. We got some funding from South Queensland Landscapes to fence off the creek. So it's a Kirrimbilla Creek that runs through the place, and there wasn't any water there, so the stock were eroding the banks, and so we got funding to be able to fence that off, and we got some water points, so we'll be able to fence off the paddocks into the cultivation in different paddocks, so we can get more pressure on each paddock, grazing pressure. We run my grazing on our property, and we could see through the graphs that we were going to run out of feed come end of winter time, so we started preparing to buy a heap of hay in, because we wanted to look after our grass. So we built some containment yards, and we started feeding about 400 cows because they were pregnant as well. We didn't want to get rid of these because we'd already got rid of half our herd. So on the 6th of August we started feeding, and we budgeted for 2 months, but it didn't rain at all, and it ended up going out until the 2nd of February. So we got calves off them, and they also so we sold some when the drought broke, or nearly when the rains came, so we sold them for $2,500 a head, whereas we could have sold them at the start instead of feeding them for about $1,100. So it definitely made up our money that way, plus we got a calf out of them. So, and our grass looks great now because we rested all the paddocks. So it cost us about $400 a head, $400 a head to feed them for 6 months. So we're aiming to have smaller cows that can produce calves that we're getting a lot more money for. So if we're targeting this export market, we can get that goes from 180 to 280 kilos straight on a boat. So we're getting between $6 and $8 a kilo live weight for them, and they don't take heifers, but we can fatten them up. But we're in a rebuilding phase at the moment, so we're keeping on to them. When the F1s and Angus, they go down to New South Wales to get fattened up on the cropping country down there.